Hey, what's going on, everybody? Testing 3, 2, and 1. I shouldn't have eaten Oreos. That was probably a poor choice. Also, with this setup the way it is, too, I hate how I'm typing. Whenever I look down at the screen, it looks like my eyes are half closed. Uh, that's not fun. So I want to figure out a way to have the screen higher, even though the camera, I mean, I can mount the camera wherever. But something about that bugs me how I come across because I gotta look up like, hey guys, what's going on while I'm typing, and then to read your comments, I have to look down somewhat. So this isn't optimized yet, but I'm still playing with all the gear. As you'll see, I've got the lighting rig and the stand, everything set up. Obviously, I've got Dr. Pepper. I've got my fish identification books, my water testing strips. Yeah, my eyes look half closed. Yeah, you're right. I've always got such puffy eyes. And then right now, my Boom microphone is literally just mounted on the counter. So let me know how it sounds as of right now, and hopefully we're not getting any feedback or anything. But I wanted to move this. I wanted to move this time from Mondays to. I don't know for sure yet what time on Tuesdays I want to be consistently on. But I think Monday, Bob Steamthought usually streams, as well as a handful of other folks. And they're people who I know a lot of y'all like to watch also, and who I like to watch and be a part of. And so I figured let's switch days, switch it up a little bit. And the way I was doing Friday and Monday, it kind of just sandwiched the weekend anyways, where I feel like Tuesday lets the week get started. So there's something to talk about in the academic world or whatnot. So I just like the way it is going to work out. I think it's going to work out better. Let's see. Curran Julian Work says you should do the Twitch streamer. You should do like Twitch streamers with a mouse. Oh, a mouse cam, but instead just have it aiming into your eye to maintain eye contact. Yes, and establish dominance. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Oh, yeah. The other thing is you look much less friendly when you have. I mean, the ring light is supposed to make your eyes look friendlier, but when you've got like all this bright light in your face, your pupils just get smaller, and I feel like your blemishes show up more, or at least mine do. Maybe other people, it smooths out like pimples and stuff, but blotchy skin, it just makes worse. Anyways, we're just talking logistics at the moment. And the other thing that I was having trouble with, and I was trying to fix all afternoon, literally, that's all I did. No. I had a talk with the folks over at VIVVY and asked them like how it was going, how the stream. If you missed it this morning on the Aquatic Morning Show, they did a whole tutorial of how to sign up for VIVVY, VIVVY.com. And if you haven't heard me say it, I'm going to say it one more time, which is right now, if you sign up to be a seller on there, plants, fish, shrimp, whatever you want to sell, basically, that's a living creature or organism, rather, live cultures, things like that, you can sell it, and it's going to have a flat rate of $25 to any state. And that's only going to be going on for the first maybe 3 months or something like that, while they get people on board, while they build this ecosystem. And then what they'll have to do is they're still going to try to keep it cheap. And in some cases, it may be even cheaper than 25. But what they're doing is they've negotiated for business shipping rates. And then from there, they're going to actually have like it's set up so you can see a map of where people are selling things from. So if you know that your water is super soft and you're like me in Seattle, you could then decide, I only want to buy shrimp, for instance, or rainbow fish, something, or blue rams that were bred in my kind of water. I don't want something that was bred in Florida's harsh waters or imported from who knows where. So they'll tell you whether it's domestic, like bred in the US, whether it's bred by the seller, or whether it's imported. And I think that's all very cool to be transparent about that kind of stuff, as well as the fact that, you know, it serves as a kind of PayPal or eBay kind of a vibe for handling the transaction. It's all through encrypted channels, which is very nice. And it's within their network. You don't have to go outside of it, and someone could transfer money and then, you know, never send fish or whatever. Like VIVVY has you covered, which is nice. And you know, once you've sold 5 things, then sellers get they get a ranking, like an average ranking and points and reviews, and people can leave reviews right away. But after 5, you start getting like to be an approved ranked seller. So for those of us who aren't selling stuff on there right away, like I'm not going to do it right away, it's going to be kind of waiting for the site to populate. And so that's why I've had fun just like making my own stuff on there and playing with it. Let's see here. The haircut was a subtle move to slowly adjust us to a new sellout transformation. Yeah, exactly. No, here, I actually want to pull up what I worked on. And there's some changes coming to the channel in that I am hoping to be speaking and going to events more, a whole lot more in the near future. And I'm looking for anybody who's club or organization, or I'll just come to your house and talk. If you guys want to fly me out there, or if it's a drive or a train ride, whatever works for getting there, I'll come on out. You know, most people want speakers fees and stuff, but you know, those are great, I suppose. It's nice to make money doing that since you're traveling on it. But for me, I'll be able to make content, visit aquariums in the area, try to look up other fish keepers, try to tour fish rooms, try to do interviews with anybody who might be at a nearby university or aquarium, go to the behind the scenes kind of stuff. The channel has now grown to a size where we kind of have the clout to get those things done, which is exciting. People are starting to see the numbers, and you know, really at 50,000, I feel like that's when people really listen. When an entire stadium worth of people, in theory, could be watching. I really, yeah, I will come to your house, ABC. Aquatic Biotope Creations. I will come to your house. So also, while we're at it, and I'm looking at who's in here, what's going on? First Class Fish, John Monroe, Sky Dancer, Corundillion Works, Ivan Vogel, hello, Fanatic Cows, Ken's 3D and Aquatics. Glitch, hey, what's up, Glitch? Good to see you. Sky Dancer, who else is hiding in here? I know there's more of you. Silver Creek Aquarius, what's up? Everybody's hiding from me. Davo, what's up? Johnny Best, what is up? Randy Coke, Fish and Floral. Jerry Serple Morris, what's up, Jerry? It's good to see you. I know you've been watching for quite some time now, and I do appreciate it. Mick M, what's up, buddy? Good to see you as well. Linda Worth, 3G. Who Who else is lurking in here? Well, Pile Aquatics, what's up? Interesting. Pyle said, I just learned about a population of bluefin killies only about 2 hours from me here in North Texas. Oh, you're going to try to catch some? Man, that's awesome. I think they're one of my favorite fish, period. Not just native fish, one of my favorite fish. So that's exciting for me to be out and trying to collect more. Ivan, that's very nice of you. Take care. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's true. If I was gonna sell out and do the whole Twitch thing, I do need to dye my hair blue. That is the move. What was his name? Karate or something, I think the guy's name is. That sounds right. Whatever that streamer's name is. Don Gallagher, what's up? Kyle Thompson, J-Man Hatch, what's up? Peter Lee, we got so many folks rolling in. Peter Lee, new member. Slow clap and applause. Well, clap is an applause. Slow golf clap. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I have to say, YouTube is really screwing with the breakdown of how money is distributed and stuff. And they're always tinkering with that stuff. But the way they've done it is kind of taken away from ad revenue that we see. Yeah, you guys see even more ads, which is really frustrating because we can moderate that somewhat. Like I try to only have an ad every 10 minutes of 7 seconds that's skippable. And sometimes they'll throw a longer one in there. If like your video starts doing really well, they actually will throw like 2 or 3 ads in. If it's not doing so well, sometimes they won't even put an ad in, trying to not disturb people watching. And all of that is part of what frustrates me about YouTube. Let's see. John Monroe, I had a bluefin killie appear in my tank once. Right on. Dude, that's so lucky. Maybe next spring we can get you down here for a talk. I can take you out on your favorite spots. Man, that would be freaking phenomenal. If you have somebody who books talks or whatnot, just definitely let them know that I'm up for it. And I have I posted on another video, but I can go ahead and post it up later on this one and pin it. The list of talks that I've given now. And Thursday night, I will be giving a talk to the Venice Aquarium Society down in Florida. But apparently they got, slammed by that hurricane. It's the same hurricane that took out all sorts of fish and shrimp hatcheries and plant nurseries down in Florida, in like the central nature coast of Florida and south of Tampa. And they really got devastated in a lot of cases. A lot of stuff went underwater for days and days, 10, 20 feet. And man, I feel bad for all you folks that are down there and have to deal with those things all the time. Alex, I hope you're having a good day and you're feeling better. I am kind of feeling better. Thanks, Irene. Although I do have some not so pleasant news that I'll have to tell you guys about because it's just a effing crazy story. Kenny E, what up, fish people? How is it going? Kenny E and the Fish People. That sounds like a band, right? Kenny and the E Street Band. Kenny and the Fish People. Kenny and the Fish People. I guess that's it. Let me pull this up for y'all, and we'll get it ready. Pardon me if I look like I'm just sleeping whenever I'm typing on something. I got to figure out the best place to put the mount or put the camera so that I'm not always looking down, or maybe I need to get 2 monitors. I don't know. You guys need to teach me. You guys need to teach me the right way to stream, because I've always just done it vlog style, holding the camera. And I know that makes a lot of people nauseous. So what I want to do is I want to get, well, one, a GoPro to take with me. But then when I'm not using it for that, I'm hoping to get some software that will let me then pair that as a camera, mount that so that you're looking at my aquariums. And then at least there'll be something in the background other than this. Or I can have a slideshow that's set up for the stream or whatever. Your average fish keeper, what's up? Good to see you. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Oh, how nice! How friendly of a family we have. Let's see here. Oh, First Class Fish. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just read your comment. I'm putting on a full court press to get you here. You can visit beautiful Cleveland in November. I will so do that. You know, I'm going to be in Columbus, in what is it, the 16th, 17th, or 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, I believe it is, for my wife's father's birthday. But I could break away from that. And if you guys just wanted to literally, like, if your club could spring to fly me back home afterwards, maybe a rental car or a train ticket from the one city from Columbus to Cleveland or something like that, I could come talk, as long as it works out so I don't have to, you know, pay an arm and a leg just to come talk. I'm more than happy to do so. And what I wanted to mention was they got slammed down in Venice, and unfortunately their club, some people lost all their fish in their fish room. Some got flooded, some got the tidal surge, others had just the wall blown in, or they had an outdoor setup that was flooded or undermined through like water coming up and just changing the parameters on everything, and salt intrusion. So I feel for all the plant and animal farmers from the hobby that are down there, and the people whose houses and stuff just got ruined. It's just such a bummer that came through. Like it came in like a wrecking ball. Sorry, that was uncalled for. Jericho, a Gager, what's going on? How do you breed a baby? Well, when a man loves a woman, he goes to an IVF clinic, and then he throws $10,000 of cash on the counter and says, "This is for the first appointment." No. How do you breed a baby fish? Well, it's easier to breed a baby fish than an adult fish. That's for sure. I'm going to need more specifics. Hire some high school kid for a day. They'll probably make you pro overnight. Seriously, though, about this streaming software and like the different settings and stuff, you're totally right. Like, they're definitely capable of fixing my my world. I mean, I can do stuff like this where I'm like, ooh, I'm in the where I have no hands. I'm in the jungle, or by the looks of it, I mean, that's a little like stiff it on or something. Or where else can we play with right now? Oh, now I'm in a big train station or cathedral. What is it? A Union Station or something? Times Square? I don't know. Who knows? Oh, now we're in the Roman. What's it? The big courtyard is the Parthenon. No, that's not right. The Forum. Anyways, it's right by the Colosseum, the leftover of their capital. Or we could do this. What is the deal with fish? They live underwater, but they don't drink water. Is that good? Am I getting it? Am I getting better? Or we could just go with my actual new house that I just bought a second ago with the piano. Just don't leave any beverages on that, please. I'd appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah, craving a Dr. Pepper. I'm sorry, I did that. I'll take. Oh man, first class fish. Yeah, you remembered that that would work best because of the in-laws, and yeah, it would. Wait, stop, computer. Listen to my commands. uh, here we go. Yeah, would raise the money. Oh, sweet, right on. Kenny says, Alex, I thought you learned your lesson about the train to Portland from Seattle. Yeah, I'd rather not take the train. I'd rather rent a car and drive. Then I could also go to like the Cleveland Aquarium or the site of like Sunnyland Farms, northern Ohio, and I could talk about the history of goldfish farming in the 1880s in Ohio, which sounds like a weird thing, but it's true. Indiana too, Maryland as well. There are big goldfish farms. Kind of wild stuff. Let's see here. What did I miss on? Oh, Zithrin. Is it worth trying to sell guppies, or would it be better to look at something that is not so common? So that's a great question, and I would say it just depends on demand. So if you have a guppy line that's really, really sought after, you can make $80 a trio all day long off of that. And the thing that a lot of people do though, and that I'm going to make an episode about that shrimp colony I got from Aquatic Arts, I'm going to document it on VIVVY. And the thing is, a lot of people want to breed and then they sell out their stock and then they don't have anything left for diversity, for crossing back something in, or just sheer numbers. They don't have them to sell because they sold these females when they could have just waited another 3 months. Those females would have matured all the way. Then their males, you only need a few males and then a bunch of females if you're breeding something, generally speaking. And I think a lot of people do that. Whereas if you're doing guppies or something, just make sure you got a lot of good quality females and then just a handful of good quality males. And you can do that with a bunch of strains of guppies. And I think people will pay for that. Well, the other thing that's going on that I would definitely recommend signing up for VIVVY is that $25. Like, get that while you can. That is the cheapest I've ever seen overnight shipping. I mean, it's usually 50 or 60 bucks easily. And that's insured too, where VIVVY, I believe, will cover costs to some degree. Like if the shipper has something happen, well, obviously, if something happens to the package, you don't have to go through the process of tracking it down and arguing. VIVVY will just handle it. They'll refund the purchaser, the person, or if you're buying something, they would refund you if the stuff was damaged or injured when it got to you. And then like that's part of why they take 15%. And really, I think they're taking like 12.2% or something. But with the credit card companies, and the transaction fees and stuff, it ends up being more. Let's see here. Glassbox Swimmers, what's going on? Good to see you as well. The Yeti, what's up? Jericho Cager. Hold on. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. Noah said, how do you breed rainbow goby fish? Okay, that's one I just honestly don't know. Do I have a fish room camera? I don't have one yet, but I am going to get one, and it will be a part of this. Osceola Llewellyn, what's going on? It's good to see you. Let's talk about rainbow gobies fish. Rainbow gobies fish. I don't know what that is. Are you talking about the Stiphodon ornatus or the Schismatogobius multipulture? There are several fish that have been sold by the rainbow goby name, unless you're talking about some rainbow fish that I have yet to hear of that looks like a goby that's getting called that, or there's the rainbow darter or the rainbow shiner, or rainbow cichlids. There are so many rainbow this or that's in the hobby. Let's get that thumbs up popping, y'all. Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do. Depths unknown. Howdy. Hey there. Hi there. Ho there. You just need one by the local train tracks. You can look like a CD cover of your average bar band. Yeah. You can also just hand out CDs like, hey, man, listen to this. It's hot. It's awesome. I wonder if anybody ever just gives out blank CDs that they like wrote their like demo tape and is like, yeah, listen to this. And they like put on like Mozart. Oh, well, no, nobody would buy that. You'd have to put on like some indie, atmosphere or Diggable Planets or Digital Planets. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper always. All right. I got a partner in crime. Good to hear. Beauty and the Buds lived happily ever after. Paul McCarthy, what's up? Good to see you. Glips. Can you tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish? Yes. Play us a song. Oh, I don't know, guys. It's just it. If I could turn back time. How about that? How about some Cher? Or, babe, I got you, babe. They say we're young, that we won't make it. Babe, I got you, babe. That is my East Coast version. Can you tell me what's the best place depending on your tank and aquarium and make your fish tank grow like a jungle? Yeah, you know what? We're going to try to fire up the other camera so we can go look at some tanks because I still feel like I'm boring and I don't have the back camera set up today, although it looks like the sound and everything are working in my favor at the moment, other than the fact that I keep looking down to type and to read your comments on the screen, and then my camera's mounted like 5 inches above my laptop. But I did have to get the 8K in theory. My internet will only handle 780 or 1080, 1080 usually. Streaming capabilities anyways, but yeah, that's a story for another day about how much I hate Comcast and them being the only internet supplier short of like that Elon Musk link thing. Is a Venezuelan Cory the same as Adolfo? So to answer that, that's a good question. The Venezuelan orange, they are not. They are Corydora aeneas, and they've been given the name Corydora venezueliana or venezuelius, depending on who you ask, where you look. But they're really, before that, they were just an aeneas species. And the crazy part about that is that orange lasers, red lasers, green lasers, emeralds, what else? Oh, the bronze and the black and the albino version of that fish, of the aeneas, exist it's just so versatile. It's wild. Any idea how to, wait, let's see here. Any idea how to move substrate from an established tank? I'm trying to move potted plants and drop it to the bottom of my shrimp tank. I have a whole video on moving or replacing substrate from a tank that's already established. I would recommend watching that. You're just taking out small portions at a time or adding small portions at a time, and a sand cap doesn't hurt. So each day you can kind of cap off part of it, not even all of it, but just part of it, so that you've got your lasagna pan that is the bottom of the aquarium. You cut it into I don't know, 6 pieces if it's your average aquarium. And you take out a piece every 3 or 4 days, scoop that out, put the new substrate in. If you do have a little bit of sand to put on top, you can, or silt or clay in theory even. And I'm talking like natural clay, not just like Play-Doh. But yeah, and that will help keep the substrate from leaching its ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates, which is a real problem. So the other thing that really helps is having like hornwort, floating plants, water wisteria, anything that's a quick growing plant that feeds from the water column. That's definitely going to help you majorly with that. And then also doing your water changes, like 50% each day that you do change out some substrate. Not going to hurt anybody. Jeff, what's going on? I like the little clap. The Yeti, what's up? Yeah, you got a Stiphodon ornatus, right on. Alex, tell us about interbreeding for profit versus other live bears. I choose to go Endler because it interests me personally, but my local fish store has never turned down my green cobra, Santa Maria, or blue Japanese. Yeah, we'll get into that in one moment. We're going to talk about VIVVY and why I'm so stoked on it. Like I obviously will always disclose with you guys if I'm getting paid from a company or something. And I was going to show you guys and share my screen right here. And show you guys what I did with them. And what I did with them was I just did graphic design, UX, and also helped with stuff like, what features would be cool. And it's all other aquarists. I mean, it's people like Haley from Aquatic Arts. It's people like, I don't know, Lucas Brett's, just people from the Indianapolis area at first. And then the larger hobby outside of that too, people like Bob Steenfott, who have either gotten orders from Aquatic Arts or who were selling a lot of fish to Aquatic Arts that were already breeding domestically, that were a part of this for the last year and a half. I couldn't talk about it for a long time. And so now I get to talk about it, and I'm just excited because, of all the stuff here, like I came up with, there's somewhat of a template, but how there are different categories scrolling by that will change by what's popular. Then there's how you search for something right there, dead smack in the middle. And then you've got your profile, your shopping cart, your tanks, and then watch list is like really my favorite, because what I wanted to make originally, if you guys have been watching the channel for like 3 or 4 years, you'll know that I said, I don't care who does it or who makes the profit on it, but I want somebody to come up with, for instance, a website that matches. So you have a long fin green dragon pleco, and you need a female longfin green dragon pleco, and you've got 10 yellow lemon plecos, male and female, ready to sell. So is anybody wanting to trade? Is anybody around? So what you would do is you would create your tank and list what you have and sign up. And there's several reasons why you'd want to create a tank on VIVVY.com. And when you get there, you just go, it'll say like sign in, and you just sign in up there. A lot of you have already signed in with your emails, I've noticed. I've gotten questions about that, and then they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I signed up saying I wanted alerts about it. Those people got signed up. If you said like that you were interested in so doing. But then you get in and you can change your picture, and you can upload all your aquariums. And so like, if you're just selling for profit, all you would do is set up an aquarium that's like Nano fish for profit. And then under that, if you want, where it has like inhabitants of the tank, if you want to keep it super simple, you just say silver tip tetras or whatever it is, Corydoras. And then you would, there's tank parameters, and you need to add at least pH, or temperature, the pH or alkalinity versus acidity, the TDS, and that's really it. But you can also elaborate on substrate, diet, all sorts of stuff in this section. But this was the tank when Redfish, Bluefish, Jason, when we were working with these, and I was breeding some of the silver tip tetras, and then he had them in his store. And these ones mostly were ordered. But I set this up as an example of, so say you're only breeding Gouramis right now. That's fine. You can just breed Gouramis. Say you just want to sell them for a month, just right before the holidays. That's fine. And the shipping is only $25. And that's overnight. Whether you want to ship 5 or 50, it's going to be $25 flat rate. It's like you are taking advantage of the company at this point, which in the long run, they're going to get their 15% from the seller. But if you think about the economics these days of a fish store, if you go into the average store, so I live right by Aquarium Co-op, and if I bring in Corydoras, the Venezuelana, they're going for $15 right now at that store. If I bring them in there, they'll say, okay, well, we'll give you like, and then they go, we got to talk to Robert. That's what they used to say. But now it's, who's it, Zach, who's buying them? And they go, yeah, maybe $2.50, $3 for if you got at least 40. And you say, okay, well, what if I do store credit? And they're like, maybe okay, I can go $4. And so then you come in with your bag of 40 fish that you've babied and loved and raised, and you get $4 a fish. Meanwhile, they're selling them for 15 plus the tax, yada yada. Ends up being a lot of money. It ends up being, for each fish, they're selling that 3 or 4 times markup that every fish store is going to add. Skip it. Don't sell to them anymore. I had a video where I said shrimp breeding is not profitable anymore. Well, it's not when you're selling to local stores, because they can buy all the imported crap that looks really good. It may have health issues. It may be inbred. It may not breed true. They don't necessarily care, or know, even if they do care, oftentimes coming from, say, Malaysia or Thailand. And they're grown outside in these big ponds, and it's like any bacteria or parasite can get in there and then get into the hobby, especially unknown strains of stuff that could be problematic. So in any case, then you list your critter and you would sell it. And rather than getting what list price is, which no one can compete with in the US, I mean, if you're like you or me, that the whole thing with selling fish is you got to sell it for 1/3 or 1/4 of the price the stores are selling it for if you want to make that profit. So unless you set up like an industrial breeding setup, it's really not worth doing with a lot of fish unless it's a high ticket fish. But in that case, you don't usually sell many of them. You may only sell, say, flower horns or discus. You may only sell like 10 a month at best or something. And that's assuming none of them die and nobody has any issues with the store or taking care of them or how they're presented, all that stuff. Whereas with VIVVY, you can say, you know what, I've got these, I've got that long, thin green dragon pleco, and it needs a female. You can pop it on your wish list like I showed you guys a second ago. And you can type in anything that you can imagine in the hobby is in there with its Latin and its common name, essentially. I think there's like 8,000 species now. So maybe not everything, but if it's not on there, definitely let them know and they'll add it, because right now they're trying to be cutesy and they're calling it we're cycling. But what, they're just building the site while people use it so people can get a sense of how they're going to use it. And then so that VIVVY, which is in all transparency, nobody's trying to hide it or anything, but it is David, the owner of Aquatic Arts. And he had a business that was based on floral imports, including moss balls for like, Michael's and Walmart and Joann's Fabrics. Those kind of places. When they were selling little kits or little vivarium, or really just a glass jar with some sand and glitter in it or whatever, and then a moss ball, he was bringing stuff in and selling wholesale with a whole side business. So he sold that side business, and right before the whole mussel thing happened, which basically stopped a lot of imports. And then the other thing that happened was most of those moss balls were from Ukraine, from the Black Sea. And they are having a hard time there, let alone getting anything out of there. So I don't know if those balls are even forming with the amount of chaos going on the Black Sea and all the ports and along the long beaches. There's a lot of like mines and naval blockade type stuff. So who knows what's up there, especially with no one harvesting them and stuff like that, no one tending to combing them and kind of picking through them and letting the small ones grow in size until you harvest them. But basically with that, or plants or whatever, now you can say, I'm not going to give my Aeneas corridora or my, the long fin green dragon was an example, just to tell you guys essentially like, that oddball and rare fish, they're trying to build up more people with that. And if you guys go through me, I basically talk to them and I'm like, I want to see this grow. I want to help you guys. What can I do? Because I want oddball fish. I want to buy oddball fish overnight for $25, even through Aquatic Arts, who's signed up, because obviously the owner's the same. He realized that if he makes shipping that cheap, because there's so many people working together to sell fish on there, especially if it becomes something the size of, Craigslist for fish or eBay for fish, that's a lot of bargaining power with UPS or FedEx and whatnot to be saying, we have 1,000 orders a day or whatever it ends up being, 10,000 of live animals that we're going to be overnight shipping. No matter what it is right now. Now they're going to get to a point where I think hardscape and plants, they'll do like 2 or 3 day ground shipping and it'll be less or whatever. But at $25 in a like flat rate box, you're already paying like what, $16, and if you're using extra packaging, a couple bucks there. And then so it's not that far off for the peace of mind of knowing, it got there, it's secured. They'll cover it if there's an issue, both on the buyer and seller side. That's part of the protection of that 15% surcharge. Plus, then there's no bank transfer fee charges or anything like that. It's all really straightforward. But what's nice is you set up your watch list and say, I want to see if there's any females of the long fin green dragon. And you can see very easily, it'll give you an email when somebody uploads those. So somebody could also see, 4 people added X, Y, or Z to their wish list. And on the backside, they're going to be suggesting to breeders, hey, people are looking for panda cories or green dragons or whatever it may be, so that they're literally building the need that people, like the people, as they come to Vivi and say what they want, they're then putting it out as an advertisement, as like, please breed these for me. And so if you're a breeder and you're trying to make money, just even as a hobbyist or whatever, you can look at the list that people have as a wait list basically and try to breed those things, especially over time as this site grows and evolves. People will add to that list, and as things come out of stock, in and out of stock, they may want more of something that they ordered. And people can then be like, well, looks like CPDs people are always requesting more of those or whatever. And so you'll know I can raise those. And just like, let's stick with the Aeneas corridoras or the Venezuelan orange and blues. So there's some strains that are way better than others. And people can review you on here and say, that strain's not the best strain. They're healthy or whatever, but I've seen better. Or, yes, that's the best metallic blue spangling and color that I've seen. Awesome. I love it. And either way, it's helpful to both the buyer and the seller in the long run. It'll help us hone in on what it is that they want, what it is that they need. And then, you can also actually start building things to the point of it being a business, it being something more than just taking a load of fish to the store every now and then. And they've got all the articles on how to acclimate. Say, for instance, like right now they've got like small riff cichlids, and maybe they have like 4 or 5 categories of how to do that. And each fish will already be located and placed in that. They'll also have a care sheet and guide. And as more fish are added, they'll be creating all of those and have a team of people and people like myself and other nerds that just want to volunteer to help add information or add stories from the hobby, educational news, interesting newsletters, interesting facts, interesting data. All that's going to be wrapped up into it. But like I was saying, like I could have this tank, and to sell, you do need to get approved. You just need to say like, hey, I want to sell. And then you create a tank once you're good to go as a seller. And you just say, all right, I want to sell. And you can make a tank of tetras, and you can make a tank of neocaradinas, and you can make a tank of cories. And it might be that within that tank, you add a list of inhabitants as 1 cory Aeneas, $5 or $10. 1 Corydorus Peleatus, $4, whatever. But you guys, hopefully this whole thing will be a competition to lower prices, yet fish breeders will still be getting more money than they're getting right now. And I never feel like the fish stores are going to be replaced in that sense. So to me, this is like a great way to bring the prices down. And actually the founder of Aquatic Arts was like, you know what? Someone's going to do something like this, and it's going to take out my business. I should do this. So he said, if Aquatic Arts gets taken out by VIVVY, by the fact that it's just cheaper shipping wise and everything else, because of that big community bargaining power that will be there sooner than later, he said he's happy with that. And that would be a good way for, him to basically be undercut. And it's a good problem to have. Let's put it that way. The other thing you can do, which I like on here, is you can play with your tank info. So when you go to, let's go back, get back to where you once belong. Okay, so here we go. So I have my lake inlay biotope. So this is what I'm hoping too. So here's another big reason why I'm really hoping a lot of you guys sign up for VIVVY and start buying stuff, start selling stuff. So I want to have more fish from Lake Inlay, obviously. I'm looking, for instance, for the Lake Inlay Danios, more of them. I haven't had any luck breeding them, unfortunately, but I know other people who have. And, you know, the other thing is you can set up a tank, and rather than it just being like one picture of your tank and one of a fish and one of a plant or whatever, you can really get into what your tank is. You can literally build an aquascape and then show it off. You know, you can show off the evolution of it. So if you guys saw, you know, this tank, for instance, you then know where it's been, how it's evolved. If you see something you're like, oh, that looks cool, that's clever, how'd they do that? You can then message them and figure that kind of stuff out. So you can use it for inspiration too. But I wanted to also point out that the reason, like, a lot of things have been hard to get, like tin wind danios or the gold ring danios, CPDs from the wild and so forth, is because Burma or Myanmar is in civil war at the moment. And so it's not a good place to be as a Westerner. Also, you could put your like this, like I put concept sketches and I put a little date on it. And then I put where these fish are coming from, a topographic map where you can see the rivers and stuff. And they're actually from, if you can see my mouse, all those fish that we've been talking about are right in this Shan Plateau. There's rivers that turn into lakes right here. Yeah, right there. And yeah, so I shared my biotope, share a little bit about the culture and the people who live there and their aquaculture techniques and things like that. I mean, all these fish, all these little nano fish are all endemic. They only occur in that one lake or the streams leading into the lake. CPD, erythromicron, rosy barbs, rosy loaches rather, rosy barbs, gold barbs are another one. They're not exclusive, but they occur there. Thick lip gouramis, Lake Inlay loaches, stuff like that, the red tail inlay loach. And so it's stuff like that that I think is going to be super valuable to have that and the care sheet and the info and everything. Every time a species is up there, it'll then become linked to any info that's on there. So once you type in the name of it, you'll find everyone else with it and all that. Let's see here. Other than that, for the seller side of things, I mean, you can market things however you want. You could sell kits of stuff. You could do leaves, like botanicals. I'm just trying to think what else you could do. You know, the sky's the limit, really. And I just think it's going to be so rad. Also, these lights are starting to hurt my eyes. So let's go for a little walk in a moment after I tell you guys something that happened. Come on. I think my eyesight's going too. I have to like look with one eye. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit night. Into night. Why did that not work? But yeah, anything that's going on VIVVY is going to be like, hold on, guys, my computer's acting up. Okay, freshwater fish. So for instance, the other thing is it's going to organize it by taxonomy. This is my art. So up here, my photography, up here laying out the order, family, genus, species, and you know, boom, you got a selection of, I don't know where to start. So let's look what's up on here. John's tropical fish, boom. And then you look there, you're like, ooh, I want that. And I actually have some of these. These are beautiful angels and other fish, but he wants $14.95. Not bad, but are there any other angel fish that are cheaper? So you can go back and you can take a look. Stop scrolling. Dang it, come on. Starting to get cross-eyed, sitting so close to the screen to read comments. Okay, here we go. So then there's $20 angels that are bigger. There's probably less expensive ones. There's fancy bettas. I mean, there's so many things. If you're looking for specific genes, like this is the place to come. And this place is only 2 or 3 weeks old. Imagine when all the rare cichlids and things that people are breeding are on here. That's why we need more people. Even if you just breed 1 or 2 things and you're not always active, like get on there. It's free. They take the money from what you get paid. So basically you just get paid 15% less than whatever your ask price is. And if you talk to me, I have some coupons and deals to onboard if you're going to really start breeding substantially. Like if you want to really breed a lot of any one fish, I've got some deals I can hook you guys up with if you want to be that kind of wholesale level. For the normal person level, you just lay back and do whatever you want to do. But let's get out of here. Okay. Yeah, I think I definitely need to get my eyes checked because I'm having a hard time. Maybe it's just the bright light behind the computer screen, but having such a hard time reading. Sujibuchi, what's up? Nazar, what's up? No aspidoras on VIVVY. Oh, that's a bummer. Somebody needs to put a CW125 or one of those cool aspidoras. I'm hoping we can get people like Dan from Dan's Shrimp Tanks, even though he has get gills that he set up and all that. I'm just hoping we can get people like that, or the Wet Spot, or Greg Sage. Like if all of us bug them and be like, sell on VIVVY, so overnight shipping is only $25. Pretty killer deal. 503, what up? Ritesh, what up? Rob's Fish, what up? Hold on, guys. I'll try to get to some questions in a moment here. But what we were going to do, other than like make this big and how do I do that? What's become of me? What's become of me, Alex? What are you doing? Why can't you work? I muted myself accidentally. All right, so there's the full screen. But watch, and the other thing I wanted to show you guys that I did all the art on is if you go to saltwater anything. There's the top header that's just a kind of a generic thing. Then there's all the critter main like family groups, depending on like the category. Like crayfish, okay, we're not going to have super broad stuff, but like fish in general, like that's going to have bigger categories taxonomically. But then they're not selling any yet. So if you guys have frags, coral frags, or you have saltwater stuff or kelp, or you're breeding anything like that, they really do need sellers for that stuff. But if you have an account that you feel like is a business size account, you know, where you think you're going to be doing 20 to 30 orders, if you think you'll have that many fish to sell, you're able to keep up with that, like a week or every 2 weeks, then definitely talk to me, because I think they're looking for people who want to take good pictures, have a good demo profile, so they can entice more people to join this thing. Because the more of us who join, obviously the better it works, the better the selection and all that. But so then say we go to boxfish and cowfish. So there's these little outlines of a little cowfish there, and I got to come up with all the symbols for the plants, the fish, saltwater fish, the inverts, all of that. So I had a lot of fun helping design all that. Also, they're going to have medication, water conditioner, supplies, hardscape, and all sorts of stuff, which is exciting. And again, they're not really like setting this up to make extra money. They're actually probably going to lose some money at first in the aquatic art sense. And then hopefully in the long run, the owner knows he's setting himself up for success. But see, here's plants, and here you can see the little overview of plants, Clarence, and it's got a bunch of the kind of rosette plants or rhizome plants that don't necessarily need a water base, an earth base, soil base. I need a brainstem base today. I'm just zonked. That's interesting. Somebody's selling a Lobelia cardinalis, or a cardinal, or a scarlet temple plant, basically. $4.99 is not a bad deal. It's Aquatic Arts. It is. They had another Anubias that, yeah, sometimes, like, other thing is, like, stores are totally allowed to use this. If you own a mom and pop pet store, you could totally say, yeah, well, we're selling stuff, but there's this pleco I've had and it just won't sell for years, and I want to get him into a better home. Or you have a fish that you just want to give a better home. Sounds like soon, like they may end up with some sort of adoption program or something, but in the meantime, you could just say $1, and you cover the shipping, and I'll send you the fish, and you can get rid of your fish that you were going to neglect and let die, or whatever had to happen. So that's cool that they do that. But the other thing that I'm just not seeing right now is, maybe it is all in these scenes. Yeah, is these line drawings and stuff. Those are all stuff I did, as well as the category backings and the little shadows that taxonomically go down the list describing stuff, which I happen to think is cool. All right, let's pop up onto check out the other tanks, because I've got babies, and I've also got something I want to tell you. Actually, let's sit down right before I do this. Let's sit down, because I have a crazy story, a story that's almost too bizarre to believe, but it can literally be checked. You guys can fact check it with my my own personal stories and Facebook, unfortunately. All right, guys. So, and I will take a look at the chat again soon. Alan, thank you so much. I assume big changes in the fish room means I bought some orca woodcats. It will soon, especially if somebody breeds them on VIVVY. That would be nice, and made them affordable, like $20 instead of $40. then instead of them getting $5 from a wholesaler or whatever, they'll get $20 or $18 or whatever it ends up being. Pretty cool. Secret history. There should be a way to contact sellers. There is, I think, or they're gonna make one. I don't know how it works. There is a way to communicate. I think. Oh, what it is you buy their fish. You make an account. You buy their fish. Once it's in the cart, I think that's when you can say like special instructions. You can say like, I don't want to place this order, but I just wanted to know about X, Y, or Z. But I think they're working on making that smoother, like you said, so you can just message easily. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just ignore what's on here for now as far as your guys' questions and comments, because I think we're at a point where I want to tell you guys my story. And then also, then we'll look at my tanks for a moment. Oh no, battery running low. Why? The freaking thing's plugged in. All right. Let's add a camera real quick before it dies. And if I ever around your heart. We'll call it Alex 2, I think. Yeah, Alex 2. Enter studio. Studio. We're putting. All right. Well, it's still really loud. Hello? Hello? Yeah, Shanna, I know 503. Thanks for trying to help. And the bizarre thing is that I unplugged the mic and it's on mute. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. Like I'll film it from over here. That's all coming through the headphones, even though the mic's not plugged in, just from this phone I'm holding. Anyways, very frustrating. So sorry about that. All right, guys. So that computer may turn off because it's been having issues. And I just wanted to get on board on one of these on the stream with this camera dominant in case it poops out on us. So I had a little story that I didn't want to put right at the beginning of my video, and it's because weird stuff just happens in my life. Well, Liquid Zoos, what's going on? Matt, thank you so much for becoming a member. Seriously, it means a ton to me when people do that, and it really adds up, you know, having people on there. Plus, you get all the extra content on the community tab. If you go to the community tab, you'll see that everything's linked earlier there. If I have a video done ahead of time and it's sitting, you guys get access to it. If I post pictures that may not be socially appropriate, um, you know, I'm gonna share it there and stuff. You have a friend who is breeding CW125 Aspidoris. Get them on VIVVY. I want to buy those. I want to buy them really bad. So hold on. Let me. I want to make sure I'm far enough away from the feedback, but I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose you guys. You're my peeps. Shorty, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps you are to me, baby. All right, guys. Oh, holy jeez, it's still smoky from the forest fires here. You guys probably can't see it as clear as I can, or as smoky as I can. There's usually row after tree. We got 2 rows of trees right now today. It is smoky, smoky, smoky. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Anthony, your sticklebacks are, all the other things are drained. Your sticklebacks are in there waiting for you. So anyways, I was going to tell you guys a story because and is there something on the lens or is it just doing the yeah, it's just the focus thing. Gosh dang it. I don't know why this camera always does that, but it gets foggy, and I always think it's humidity or something. It's not. It's just the focus. This is not my favorite camera that I've ever owned on a device, on this little tablet thing I have here that I use to film with, the Note, Galaxy, whatever. But you guys, it's 4:30 here my time, and it looks like the sun is already like setting because of how yellow and orange the forest fire has made the sky here. Anyways, so now that I'm away from that terrible echoing, and I'm so sorry about that, I was going to tell you guys that, so when I was in Florida, I was supposed to go and film the area where Grant Eater and where we flew, I flew into Tampa. We drove an hour and a half north, and I was like, let's get a drone shot. And then I was like, wait, I don't have a drone. What am I talking about? And then, Grant, do you have a drone? No, I don't have a drone. So I was like, let's get a drone shot of me visiting Florida, and we could like film, especially because we were like down in these crazy creeks. Like, it would have been really cool to have a drone shot, like zooming into just how small we were in the middle of this massive like jungle and forest, and how all these like creeks and tributaries and stuff, what they look like, how we're like literally on like an island. And to us it felt like there's a creek that way and one maybe that way. And you look at the map and you're just surrounded by water and swamp, and like to get there we had to wade through water and everything, and it was like black water. You guys can see the video if you want, with a native fish collecting video, and I hope you guys like those because I have quite a bit more content of doing that stuff, and I really love it. And I want to show off the species that we have that are good, like that could live in an aquarium, that could live in your average house without a heater, or even if they could live with a heater, great. Some fish can. But anyways, so we get there, and you know, we are filming out in the woods, and I have probably, I don't know, 15 hours of footage by the second day, like by the end of the second day. And so I went to high school with this guy named Tony Yen, or Antone Yen, and he is just this laid back dude, kind of like Hawaiian vibe dude, and he's like, I don't know, a mix of everything, part Asian, part part Filipino, part Hawaiian, islander, part European, some sort of mix. Who knows? Maybe part magician. But he was a guy that I grew up with, and Tony was always when I was into weightlifting when I was younger, when I was trying to get all basically when I was coloring up for the females for spawning season, that kind of thing. We were into weightlifting for a little while, and I was into trying to build up my body, my get down my fat index, or whatever you call it, your BMI. And so I'm kind of a broad guy. Everyone says, "Oh, you're taller than I thought" when they meet me. I'm 6 foot, or I was before I broke my back. I'm like 5'11", whatever. I'm still fairly tall, and I'm fairly wide, not just front to back, guys, okay? But also side to side. I'm big in every direction. I'm big in Japan. So anyways, we were into weightlifting for a while, and when I was younger, like I'm talking like 15, 16, 17 years old, and he was in my weightlifting class, and I'd known the kid because he was in like my math classes and stuff in high school. And this guy was always the class clown, always doing zany, weird stuff. For the talent show in high school, he showed up on stage, and this kid was kind of quiet. He had like when he was like in like sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, he was like in the chess club, just kind of quiet. He looked kind of Asian, so everyone just kind of thought he was smart and quiet, and a goody two shoes. And then like people find out, dude's like might as well be like Chong from Cheech and Chong, and he's a party animal, and also like a big video gamer. He's social, yada yada. Like the dude was all over the board. He became a wrestler too with the weightlifting, and even though he wasn't super tall, but he was like a really good wrestler. And so I'm just setting the stage of who this guy is, because he owns a plane company now down in Florida. And so I got into contact with him, even though I hadn't seen him too much in the last few years. When my wife and I first got married, we needed a roommate. So I put it out on Facebook. I said, we need a roommate like now. Our rent went from like $1,600 to $2,400 or something in one jump. Like when we re-signed the lease, it was awful. And so we found my old friend from all the way to elementary school, Nick, my old friend. And he had a bunch of friends that were from high school. And since I moved back to the Seattle area after being in the college town for 10 years, about an hour and a half from here, it was kind of surreal moving back. And so when I moved back, he had who else but this guy, who in the talent show, he puts on the "I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy it hurts. I'm too sexy for your body, too sexy for your body, the way I'm disco dancing," or whatever, that guy. So, what was it? Right Said Fred. That song that was big back in the day. He shows up on stage, and he's like all oiled up or whatever and tan, and I can't remember, he tanned something into his chest that was like comical also. But the dude comes up on stage, and he rips off a suit, and we thought he was like literally going to come up and like recite the Constitution, or like who knows. It was like freshman year of high school, and we thought he was kind of a nerdy, stereotypical Asian kid. I'm sorry to say that. Maybe it's racist, but at our school, there were a lot of really smart Asian kids whose parents were really like push them to do stuff and everything. And he was not. He was like Mr. like kickboxer, like Manny Pacquiao or whatever, little Spitfire. And, definitely not like the Japanese or Chinese Tiger Mom kid or whatever. And so at the assembly, that song comes on, "I'm too sexy for my," and he rips off a suit, like a 3-piece suit. He rips it so the buttons just go bing bing, and then his next shirt is like a button-up shirt. He rips that, and then he's got the undershirt, and I think it was like our high school, like cheer or like one of the like glee club or band or something from our high school that he got at like a secondhand store, and he like flexes and it's on really tight already, and then he's able to rip it, not with his hand ripping it, but just by like splitting it. And then literally like two guys on either side, like one guy on either side of him, start throwing up books, and they're like, Tony, like catch, and it's like a calculus book, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna need this when I'm a model, and then he just like takes it over his knee and breaks it at the spine. And then you're kind of like, haha, okay, whatever. And then the next one's a phone book, and he rips the phone book in half, like Incredible Hulk style. And he does that with like 5 phone books in a row, back to back. And this was kind of like, holy cow, who is this kid? Like, we've been in school with him the whole time. So this is setting the stage. So that was high school. I stayed in contact. I was a party animal in high school, and I studied. I was very diligent with my studies. In fact, I was so diligent that I would actually skip class to focus on my sleep so that I could pass the test on Friday and sleep all week in the morning and be up all night the rest of the week. A lot of my teachers, it was a different time 20 some years ago. I guess, yeah, like it'll be my 20th reunion in 3 years, I guess. So it's a different time 20 years ago, in that I didn't go to school that much, and they just gave me the stuff to read, and I went home, and they're like, you're being distracted. You're distracting other kids from learning, like doodling and putting my headphones on too loud. And then they'd be like, you can't have headphones. And I'd be like, you can't make me, this is America. Anyways, we won't go there. I was a little, what do they say? A little Schitt's Creek, of a kid, at times. But this kid and I, we were like, oh yeah, that works out. So I see him at the assembly doing that. He's the kind of guy who's like drinks like a 40 and then cracks the bottle over his head, and then drinks a can of some beer and then crunches it on his head. So now that I've told you what a wild dude this guy is, and that he was pretty funny, but he was also smart. He wasn't an idiot or anything. He wasn't like a dumb meathead, but he was just wild, and he had this sort of like daredevil thing. Like he would climb up everything, like wherever we went. Like if we were chilling in a backyard, he'd be up in the tree, and he'd just be like, hey guys, and we'd be like, what? There he is. And so he went and did construction after high school, because I don't think he did too well in high school, and so his dad was like, well, you can get a job with me. And I kind of just lost touch with him. Well, it turns out he was in Florida, and when I went down to Florida, I then found out that he owns a plane company that charters planes, and he had just bought a new seaplane that also had a fan on the back, so you could like go through the swamps, and you could fold the wings up too, so it was like a swamp boat fan plane thing. And he was getting money to from the government to deliver mail to remote homestead places like down in the Everglades area that are like in the national park. Where, will you shut up? This squirrel is just ruining the vibe of the story. Squirrel! Thank you. Now the other one started. The one on the other side of the house. Anyways, so when I was down there, the last weekend I was down there with Grant Eater, I've been collecting in the woods the whole time. And so I was like, this is rad. I'm going to go. I don't have a drone, so let's go collect. And then let's go film it in an actual plane. And so we went into the town, kind of by where Grant's house is, the next biggest town, down the coastline. And I met up with him. I was like, hey man, take me up, like let's go, whatever. And he had to wait because he had a client that he needed to take somewhere. So I was like, oh, bummer. And as fate has it, I'm speaking
or I was scheduled to speak down in Florida this Thursday at the Venice Club, which is also in the Tampa area, which is where he's based out of. And he flies, old people down to the Keys. He delivers important packages or like work stuff. He's like a bike messenger with a freaking plane. So whatever. We plan, all right, let's do this. I'll show you on the YouTube channel. I'll show people your plane company, and if you want to give me a ride, I'll give you gas, and we'll go up and we'll film some cool shots of everywhere we were just hanging out. And and I found out yesterday that he bought a new plane, and it's a real fast plane. It's like a quick little plane that is not the fan boat plane or whatever. It's like the engine's right above your head, and you sit in a cockpit in front of it with a Viking engine. And unfortunately, yesterday, this guy I've known 20 years, he crashed. His engine failed at the end of the runway that we would have been using. And the plane crashed into a house in Marietta down. He'd taken a load of stuff for delivery from Tampa down to outside of Miami somewhere. And yeah, so the guy who I was supposed to be with on Thursday filming from my high school, who had moved to Florida, who was flying for a living, delivering mail, special packages, taking really rich people from like the Keys, private islands and stuff to the hospital up in Miami or whatever. Dear Lord, shut up, squirrels. What are they going on about up here? What? So there's got to be a cat, like, with one of them up a tree. Anyways, that's the weird event. That's the story. It's in the news. It was on like national news too, because his buddy who was with him, who we knew too, unfortunately, he also daredevil, thrill seeker, living life to the fullest. And like Tony, I'd be crying, I'd be upset. I did that last night. Tony was, he literally said, like, if I pass away flying, because people were like, dude, aren't you scared flying in those little planes and like doing tricks? And, he was always flying. Last 6-7 years, he's always flying. He was a bush pilot in Alaska for a while too. He said, yeah, on Facebook, like, if I die flying, that's how I want to go out, like doing exactly what I love. I don't want to get old. I don't want to go through what his dad had gone through, some protracted illnesses and things, and I think some other people in his family had too. But he made his money doing construction right after high school and bought 3 planes and started this little company in a fleet. And yeah, so he's gone now, and I guess I won't be flying over Weeki Wachee and the Blue Holes and Silver Springs and stuff, the Everglades. Nor am I even going down there this week anymore. But I really, really want to go down Florida again and collect ASAP, and try to ship back some fish this time. Last time it was more just about Grant and Shelby still have some, but like now that I know where to go, how to do it, I want to kind of hit the same spots, try some new spots and do that. But yeah, so that's a bit of a bummer. But I think depending on what the club says, Venice Club, I'm doing a speech that's going to be similar to the Fishtoberfest speech, I think. Same topic, but never do I give us the same speech at all. I have an outline with about, I don't know, 20 things written, if anything written, and then I just freestyle it. And if I'm talking to a club that's in Florida, I'll try to include more Florida history or more like Seminole Native or like the Titusville burials where they had a fishing culture of bog burials, bog people that were there. So yeah, but I will be streaming live from here, from Seattle. And I think they're going to just watch my YouTube channel because they don't have internet at their lodge, which was the same problem Pasco had, actually, when I went down to the other spot down there in Florida. They didn't have the right kind of internet or anything. And so, yeah, I had to do that. But, all right, now I want to share one last thing with you guys. But if they're cool with it, I'm going to share the talk so you guys can watch too. So, and so that other clubs can get the idea, because the audio wasn't super great on my talk. Shanna did actually a good job, but the video I posted, and then part of it got cut off. So shout out to Shanna and Ian. But yeah, in theory, I could have done a better job recording it and all that. Okay, so what's on the lens now? Really? So if you guys recall this aquarium, it was super overgrown. Like all of it was overgrown. Well, now it's still overgrown, but now only part of it is. And look who is on the leaf of this new plant. See all those little white dots? My tiger blood pear scale angels. They there's daddy and there's mommy, and they had the little babies on the, let's see here, right here in the tank. So that's cool. She's left out, but she looks like she's getting eggy too, so sometimes they'll trade off. And then the plecos I moved out of another thing. Speaking of Venezuelan orange cories, I have so many of these, and the black phantoms just keep making babies. Like I bought some more so they'd school a little better, and then I've got the equus, and then also the I'm totally gonna space on the other kind, Trilineata. No, that's not it. Margina. No, it is Trilineatus, maybe pencilfish. But in any case, yeah, we got some babies in here. Also, the plant that I got, and I know I already showed this off before once, but I got Barclaya longifolia, which I love. It looks like it's made out of like iridescent, like that. Ow! Whoa! She just bit me. Like I didn't know an angelfish could bite that hard. Holy smokes! They don't have teeth, do they? There's like a little hard plate in their mouth or something. Maybe they have like a little thing to grind stuff. Anyways, look at the babies are falling. Look, he put them in his mouth. Please, or she did. Spit them back on the leaf. You're doing a terrible job, Mama. Yeah, stick them back to the leaf. Good job. Man, you suck at this, Mom. Stick them back to the leaf. Wow. Man, those fish just better not let go. Those babies, like there goes another baby. Mom, put them somewhere smart. Don't just spit them willy-nilly. Oh, one, that's one that stuck to something. Anyways, my wife's probably training them to attack me. You're probably right, Alan. But in any case, so the long Crypspiralis, that's what they bred on, which is cool. Be careful, they're gonna take my hands off. These things melt like in a few minutes. I swear, they look so nasty when they melt a big stem plant like that. But yeah, the red tiger crypt is looking really cool, and it's got the babies on it. And I had a feeling they'd lay on it. I thought they'd actually lay on the Barclaya longifolia, and then there's also a crypt albida down there too, red. But in any case, then I've got the Pondageton purple crispus I'm trying to do. Alan, since you're watching, also check out my powder, how it's doing, since I left it and neglected the hell out of it. it's doing better than ever. It's even got an extra leaf. Usually it doesn't have any other leaves, but it's got an extra leaf. And then there's a bunch of new leaves down there. So I'm gonna have to take a look at it closer and see just what in the heck is going on in there. And also this stuff's growing like weed, the Persicaria caligium, and the shrimp. My oh my, these are shrimp that I've had 6 months, and I gave them a 22.5, pretty much to themselves, other than three snowball pleco, dwarf snowball plecos, and two Corridor habrosus just to eat any waste or food. And look at this. There's just blue shrimps everywhere. Everywhere in here. And it goes they're all the way in the back too. Like, and they're up here, and they're I mean they're up eating up by the surface too. They're just all over. Well, you guys probably can't see that because I'm pointing down, but there's like one there, there's one there. There's one on the leaf. So man, these things have been productive. But they've got all the room in the world to grow and a lot of biofilm and stuff. Whereas the ones in the other room, they don't. They have been a bit stifled. And even though all these ladies look ready to be, oh good, wait, is that one that it's buried today? I think she is. Let's see here. Was she buried? Or is that just a leaf? Man, their color is crazy, these aquatic arts ones. But I want to literally try to breed these in a 2.5 gallon if I can. It might be too small. They might just feel, hey, we're too stressed. There's too many of us in here. We don't want to spawn. That wouldn't surprise me since there's 15 in the little tank. But I'm curious to give it a go. And see. That's the Aquatic Arts sponsored tank. And then over here, something super cool happened the other night. So in this tank, I have the Latiacara candidii. And usually they're in here, they're doing their thing, yada yada, whatever. And they've been spawning either on a leaf or on the glass or in a cave or in a coconut or in a pineapple under the sea. And that's that. They lay their eggs. They last a day or two. They try to fight off all these snails, and the snails end up devouring the babies. And that's all she wrote. And that's the end of that. Well, yesterday, I was like, where are they? I can't find them anywhere. Where the heck did they go? And I was like, I thought she'd give birth one more time, or lay eggs one more time. And where did I find her and the babies? Up this pipe. Like the one spot in the entire tank that I would have never thought of, where the snails couldn't get in. They'd have to go down and up and around, up the glass, down and around. They'd have to swim. I mean, this thing's isolated. She was freaking brilliant, that little Latiacara. So I ended up moving them, though, to a tank with no snails and their eggs. I just gathered them up for her and moved them over into this tank. And they're seeming to do okay. I'm guessing they're over here still. They were just kind of laying low over on this side in the flow, kind of. Yeah, they're under there. Is she guarding eggs again? Maybe. They're quick about that. And then also Illuminatus, they're getting bigger. My Stiphodons are still all over the place. Just lots of fun. Thread fins are all good. And oh my gosh, squee! Do I love my little babies. Check this out.
Come back this way. Oh, I made him go the other way. But look at those little samurai Gouramis. They're so stinking cute. These are the babies I got from Regis down in Portland at the fish swap. Oh, there's one of the Ladiacaras. Ladiacara. Oh, laddie. Oh, you're a Ladiacara. Where is your mate? Okay, so here is. Oh, you're so cute. I love you. Yes. So I got 3 in there, and I put 3 in this tank over here too, just to split them up, just because I wasn't sure which parameters they'd like, and so I wanted to give them a couple choices, a couple options, a spice of life. And down here, this is pretty much all a Malawa shrimp tank now. I mean, there's a few tetras left in here. Oh, and then there's still a buttload of the orange fish in here, the Venezuelan. But again, look at all these snails. They never grew because I never fed them. But these tiny snails are making me lose my mind. They are just always around, and I hate them. You heard me. I hate you, you little snails. I don't need that many of you. And then in here, this is kind of a fun tank because despite the mess that it's in right now, we've got all the cool skirt tetras, the orange serpa and stuff. And then we got the little babies. Squee! Come turn sideways. You don't be bashful. You're adorbs. You're totes adorbs. Turn sideways. Also the little blue tetras. Oh, there's another one. Totally the wrong angle for us to see you. But another samurai gourami. Oh, there she is. That one doesn't have a throat pouch, so probably a female. Plus the whites, big old white kind of hue to the center. Usually it says it's that. Now in here we're trying to spawn. Well, and actually I want to move this light just for the sake of come, Mr. Tallyman, give the shrimp some light. Yeah, we're trying to trying to spawn Rasbo and any other lady that he will have. But I did put my other pretty betta in here, so we'll see what happens. Who knows? And then the other project that I have going on in here. Let's turn this light on, and I can't make this look good for the life of me now. Everything's dying. I need to get an expert. Look at this. I mean, right now it's clear that algae's the issue, but the grass and stuff, when I went away for that 9 days in Florida, all this mulm built up, and I thought it was mulm, and so I cleaned it all. And then now I've realized it's not mulm. It's some sort of like grayish green algae, and it's kind of like beard algae, kind of like slimy algae. So I just threw a ton of Ludwigia in there 2 nights ago in hopes of getting rid of any nitrates and nitrites, but it just looks like crap, and I'm just bummed because this was my favorite tank before I left. Yeah, it's just bummer. Like, look at the tiger crypts in here, the crypt spiralis tigers. They're like almost completely dead. So something drastic needs to happen here. I already changed all the water and scrubbed the rocks completely clean. And look at how bad they look. I mean, they're freaking gray rocks. This is like a weird powder algae. I have like an out of control, like mulm dirt runaway issue. Look at this. It just like it all sucks up in there, and it's just nasty. And I don't know what to do about it, quite frankly. I haven't ever had this problem where like the whole tank's like this. So I'm gonna try actually like using some chemicals on it for once, which I hardly ever do. And that tank's not old; it's only a year old. I think what happened was it was running on such high light that I just leaving it uh for the time I went to Florida and then the time that I went to Chicago after that. I think that I think I wrecked its harmony, and now algae's going nuts. Frustrating. So yeah, and I do have something exciting though. Uh, and I'll be making a video about this, but F Zone, who makes notoriously cheap, crappy stuff, but they do make stuff that works. Like people notoriously buy it for live events, like aquascaping contests and stuff. They're sending me their new top of the line, which I think is $145. They're like, it's very expensive. They're sending me their CO2 regulators, dual stage, yada yada. It's a dual stage, dual headed one, I think. And I'm gonna unbox it, take a look at it, and let you guys know how it goes in a video, probably tonight or tomorrow. But then I'll do like a review of it in the future because I have no idea how, long term it's going to perform or what weird problems could pop up. So I'm not going to speak to the quality of it right away, but I will eventually. But if so, they've got a $45 one with a solenoid and everything. That's single stage, and then they've got a dual stage that's like $58. So it'll be interesting. Oh yeah, Dan's Fish might have Aspidors. I need to call Dan and see if he would want to get on VIVVY, just for the sheer fact that shipping big fish out of Wyoming, he has to be paying. I don't know what you guys pay for shipping out of there, but I can't remember what it is. I've ordered things from him twice, but it's been a while since like before he built the new place. So if anybody knows how much his shipping is, yeah. Plus, probably just more eyes, to be frank, because Aquatic Arts did a really good job at search engine optimization, and it's the same guys who are involved with building all the website on Aquatic Arts and all the tech guys and the owner that moved over to VIVVY and are now like not at Aquatic Arts Daily anymore. And I still am paired up with Aquatic Arts in the sense that I'm promoting their stuff, and I still will as long as it's good quality. They're following the ethics I believe in the hobby, and they're transparent and good to you guys. But if any of that ever stops, I'm out, and that's true with any brand or whatever. But I did, work with a lot of the art for VIVVY, and I'll help them a lot with, things like, okay, what group of fish should we make subcategories of? Which community tab, like which fish groups have a big enough user base that like rainbow fish, killifish, cichlids, should we split it into like small cichlids, large cichlids, dwarf cichlids? What do we want to do with categories? Which fish are the most common? What represents, like, what's the most ubiquitous cichlid, like for the imagery on the taxonomy square? So all that stuff on VIVVY.com. If it's a picture of a fish, like a graphic of a fish. And I also need to get my new teeth soon because I keep looking at my teeth and really hating them now. The more time I see myself, the more I hate these chompers. And the space is getting bigger now that I have no molars. So on that note, on hating myself, no. On that note, my wifey's home also, and I'm going to sign off for the night. Thank you guys so much, mods, you guys who signed up for the channel as members. And anybody giving VIVVY a shot, if you're going to be a seller on there of any size, let me know. I'll introduce you to Zach and see if maybe they can send you some shipping supplies for free and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see if I can work any magic for you. But my hope is to get down to Florida again. I might maybe even for my buddy's service, but that would be bittersweet. But
if that's what does it, that's what does it. Yeah. So anyways, thank you guys so much. I know this is kind of an all over the place stream, but it's what was on my mind. So I'll talk to you soon, and I'll pin the link to VIVVY in the comments. VIVVY. And also on the Aquatic Morning Show this morning, they did a whole long tutorial on it, which was really cool. So if you want to know how to use it, go to the Aquatic Morning Show and watch Zach's tutorial this morning. He used to work at Aquatic Arts too. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Sketty Nona, Beauty and the Buds. Make a snail trap with a water bottle. Yeah, I should. It still won't catch them all, though. I've tried that. I've done a lot of it. Luke, I will text you soon. And Corundulin Works, thanks for sticking around so long. Miss Kitty, hit that like button. Thank you. James Hand, Michelle, all you guys rock. Thank you so much. Adam Shook, what's up? And all you members, you friends of members, Shanna, Tampa Tom, everybody chatting at the end here. You guys is the real ones. Say gerbil. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thanks again for being my friend. I needed you today. I needed a smile. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.